Hello friends, welcome back. In the previous chapter, we have discussed about the permeability and also we have discussed about the seepage pressure. And to be frank, in the past permeability and seepage pressure chapter, we have discussed about the flow happening only in particular direction. But if you think in reality, just raise a question that is it always possible that flow will happen always in one direction? And the answer for this is no. The flow can happen in any direction and also it can happen in the multiple directions. We can't guarantee that. It's depending upon the practical conditions over there. So, like that, it is not possible for us also to consider the n number of flow directions and we can't find out or we cannot solve the particular problem. So, in the present chapter, we will mainly concentrate on if flow is happening in two directions, then how we can evaluate the necessary parameters like what is the discharge, what is the head loss, what is the uplift pressure, what is the seepage pressure. So, whatever the things we have studied in the past chapter, we will study here the same, but what is the difference? If the flow is happening in more than one direction, or simply we will mainly concentrate on if the flow is happening in two directions, or we'll calculate the same parameters whatever we have calculated if the flow is happening in one direction in the previous chapter. Okay. So so that's why we are going to study this age seepage analysis. So in the previous chapter, we have simply studied about the seepage pressure. That means if the flow is happening only in one direction. So if any flow is taking place, suppose if flow is taking place in 2D, okay. Suppose if there is any flow, that means if the flow is happening in two directions, then let us say that first assume that our soil is isotropic medium. What is mean by isotropic? At a particular point, the properties are same in all directions. But right now, in how many directions we are studying about the flow? That means we are studying only about the two directions. That means in those two directions, the properties of the soils are same. What is meant by properties? Here, what is the property we are using to determine the discharge? That is nothing but a permeability. So here, the permeability in both the directions are same. Let us assume that, let us say that flow is happening in two directions, that is along x and y. As I am talking about the isotropic, the permeability of the soil is same along the x direction and also it is same along the y direction. So if the flow is happening only in a particular direction, then we can use Darcy's law. That means if there is a 1D flow, then we can use the Darcy's law. But if there is flow happening in two dimension, we cannot use the Darcy's law. But here Laplace equations are used. I think hope you guys have studied Laplace equations in your mathematics. That is also there in the GATE syllabus. So in previous chapter, we have already seen how to find the discharge parameters if flow is happening in one dimensional. But in the present lecture, we will discuss, or in the present chapter, we will discuss about the two dimensional flow. And right now we are saying that if the flow is isotropic, then we can write our Laplace equation square dou square h divided by dou x square plus dou square h divided by dou y square is equal to 0. By using this Laplace equation, then we can study the flow happening in the two dimensional if your soil is isotropic medium. Right here, am I using any permeability factor here? No. Why? Because the permeability in both the directions are same. Then what about the next question? Sir, what is the solution of this equation? Isn't it? That is what the next question. So depending upon the problem, we will write down one differential equation, and whatever the solution of that, that is nothing but a solution to the problem. So what is the solution to this Laplace equation? The solution to the Laplace equation is nothing but a potential and flow functions takes the form of two families of orthogonal curves. That means whatever the solution for this is, that is represented in the form of potential and flow lines equations. So the solution, the problem for the two-dimensional flow is analyzed by using the Laplace equations. The solutions for the Laplace equation, that is expressed in terms of the potential line, flow line equations. And what is potential and what is flow lines, we will discuss in few minutes. Okay. This is what about the isotropic medium. But if I say that my soil is non-isotropic, what is meant by non-isotropic? Properties are not same in the different directions. So right now we are talking about the two dimensions, that is nothing but a x and y. So as we can say, as it is non-isotropic, along the x direction, your permeability may be different. Along the y direction, your permeability may be the different. Then what about the Laplace equation for this? For this is nothing but along the x, kx into dou square h divided by dou x square plus along the y direction ky into dou square h divided by dou y square is equal to 0. So this is what the Laplace equation for the two-dimensional flow for a non-isotropic medium. But here, what is meant by dou h by dou x and what is meant by dou h by dou y? H is representing the head loss, isn't it? And what about dou h by dou x? This I will say it is a loss of energy. Along which direction? Along the x direction I'm taking. So I can say along x direction. Similarly, what can I express here? Loss of energy along which direction? Y direction. Okay. So let us first concentrate on the solution for the isotropic flow, isn't it? So we can say that the what is the solution for the isotropic medium? So what is the solution for the isotropic? That Laplace equation, as we have already discussed, that it is expressed in terms of the potential and flow lines. So what is meant by potential line? The potential line, flow line, this already you might have studied in the fluid mechanics. There you will study about the streamlines, streak lines, right? And also potential line and flow lines. So potential line or potential flow lines. So potential flow lines will represent the lines, those are following the same heads. So potential lines I'm talking about. What is mean by potential flow? Potential flow is representing the head. That means if we are drawing or if we are joining the lines that are having the same head, that means if we join the points having same head value, then we will call them as a potential lines. I will simply not flow lines, potential lines. And what about the flow lines? The name itself represents flow. That means if you are joining the points, if you are joining the points along the flow direction, then those will be representing is nothing but a flow lines. So depending upon the site, along the direction of the flow, if you are drawing a line, that represents the flow line. And if you are joining the points which are having the same head, and those will be called as a potential lines. Suppose, let us assume that these are nothing but your flow lines, and these are nothing but your potential lines. And always remember, these flow lines in general, they will represent with, let us say this is first xi1, xi2, xi3. The potential, let us say I'm representing with phi1, phi2, phi3. Always remember that this flow line and potential lines are always perpendicular. Whatever the point you consider, always your flow lines and potential lines are always perpendicular, or else they will meet. I will simply try that they will meet orthogonally, right? So this is what about the solution for the flow if it is taking place in two-dimensional and if it is in an isotropic medium. And here we have to study about the flow net. Though the net can simply understand in physical what is mean by net. So what is mean by flow net here? It is nothing but a, if we are joining, that means it is nothing but a graphical representation of the potential lines and the seepage. So here I will write down, it is nothing but a graphical representation of head value and graphical representation of head and direction of seepage. Direction of seepage at every point. So along every point, if you are representing heads and the seepage direction, then that is nothing but a flow net. Suppose let us consider, let us assume this is your dam, and this is nothing but a water level, and this is nothing but a downstream level. If you are joining the lines, then we can assume the flow lines may be like this. I can assume that the flow happen like this. So here, depending upon the side, these are nothing but my flow lines. Similarly, if I have to study about the head, if I am joining the lines which are having the same head value, then these are nothing but your potential lines. So see, this is nothing but a graphical representation. So the graphical representation of head values and direction of seepage at all the points. This we will call it as a flow net. And the potential functions we will represent with phi, and this will represent xi. And these two are always will be in the perpendicular direction. And these are always nothing but your continuous curves. They will be either, depending on the Laplace equation, either they will be of elliptical shape or they will be of parabolic shape. Okay, right? Now, what are the properties of this? The first properties is that they will meet orthogonally. The properties are very, very important because they can ask you for the match the following. And also here we have to select the, suppose if four options are given, out of those four, you have to select the correct options. In the previous, correct option might be the only one, but in the present case, the correct option can be one, they can be two, they can be three, or they can be four. If you select all the correct, then only you will get the marks. So what are the properties? They will meet always orthogonally, and they will be in the form of elliptical or parabolic shape. They will be always continuous, and as we have discussed, they will be either parabolic or elliptical shape, and there will be no flow across the flow. There will not be any flow across flow lines. Always remember, the flow will always flow parallel to the flow lines only. There will not be any flow across the flow lines. Just remember this point. And whatever the area that is bounded by two adjacent flow lines, then that will be called as a flow channel. That means, suppose see here, and this is what one flow line, and this is what another flow line. So here the area bounded between two adjacent flow lines. So here this area we will call it as a flow channel. Suppose let us say that if I am joining, these are my flow lines. So let me represent phi xi 1, xi 2, psi 3, and this is nothing but your potential lines phi 1, phi 2. So if I draw the or if I shade the area between any two flow line, this is one flow line and this is another flow line. So the area between any two flow lines, those will be represented is nothing but a flow channel. The area bounded between two adjacent potential lines and the flow lines is referred as a flow field. So previously here we have seen only the area between the two flow lines, but right now if we are talking about the area surrounded by the potential lines and flow lines, this I will call it as a flow field. So flow channel is nothing but a area surrounded area surrounded by flow lines. But what is meant by flow field? Area surrounded by flow lines and also potential lines. So all these are important. They can ask you for the match the following, or they can ask you for the select the answer type. Okay, and for the isotropic medium, this flow field either it can be of square, maximum they will be of square shape, that may be linear or curvilinear. That means for isotropic, whatever the flow field is there, mostly that will be of square shape. And these are the important parameters that we have to understand. And also for non-isotropic, whatever the flow field is there, that will be of rectangular shape. Okay, and this is what about brief introduction about the flow happening in the two-dimensional, and what about the differential equation, and also we have seen the solution for that. In the next video we will discuss about the how to determine the seepage, and to how to determine the discharge, seepage head, and also the some important parameters. Thank you.